This is a test on the X versions of the Tour balls. We've kind of got the benchmark ball at the Titleist Pro V1X. So this is the X, this is not the left dash, this is the standard Pro V1X. And then we go to the TP5X. TP5X, this is the PX version. We've got the Mizuno Pro X, which is the 2025 version. We've got the PXG XTREME Tour X and the Callaway Chrome Tour X as well. I'm quite excited to see this compared to the other versions of the golf balls. And then the Srixon Z Star XV 2025. So I've got this Cleveland RTZ 60-degree wedge, and I'm going to kick things off with the PXG XTREME Tour X. And you have to say it like that when it's PXG. So full shots with a 60 isn't something I do that often on the golf course. But I need to know how far it goes, just so if I hit the wrong fairway, I need to go over a load of trees. I know I've got that sort of yardage in play. Now, one thing that I am expecting is that all of these X versions of the golf balls do have a lot of spin with a wedge. They generally are the higher spinning wedge balls because they generally have thinner covers than their counterparts. And when you have a thinner layer on such a soft outer material like the urethane, it deforms and reforms while it's interacting with the grooves to give you more friction, to give you more spin from that golf ball. So golf ball choice can change the performance of your flight. And they generally have harder cores as well. So when you have a harder core, it sounds a bit clickier, a bit higher pitched. And again, that changes how that outer material, that outer layer interacts with your wedge face. When you've got a harder core with a thinner layer, that thinner layer's got a bit more give in it. If the core's not as hard, it's a bit softer, that outer layer won't kind of like bite into the grooves of your wedge as well. And we're going to get a lot of golf ball left in the grooves on this. I'm looking for 2 decent strikes with each wedge. That being one of them. And it gets up there and it lands and it comes back. No, not quite. But next to the pin. And like I said, we get a lot of golf ball left in the grooves. And I do generally find that with the RTZ wedges because they make the ball spin, and it reminds me of the pre-illegal grooves, and I love it. And while I'm not warmed up, I'm going to hit 4 with the first one. Ah, pushed it. But it's on the green and it's got a little bit of backspin. And then we get all of that golf ball out of the grooves for the next one. Next up, Mizuno Pro X. Let's give this a nice Mizuno blue, shall we? Just on that clickier, harder side, which all of these golf balls are, to be fair. Didn't feel as clicky as the PXG. Same sort of yardage, bit of backspin, lovely. This is going to be a common theme with all of these. Ooh, that spun. So I did last year's version of the Mizuno ball against the Pro V1X, and it stood up really, really well. So this is a newer version of the ball in itself, performing quite nicely. Now I've got one higher and one lower spinning ball there. I just want to see if this third one leans towards one or the other. Nice, didn't quite carry as far. Okay, so we take out the average ones so far. 99, 92, the 92 can come out, that one. And let's go with the high-pitched, harder core, TP5X. Caught it slightly heavy, but still come back, still got healthy spin. So we're looking in like the 10,800, 900 area in general. Apart from that one, I think that will spin a lot more. Strike very different. Get that golf ball out the grooves. Now I've got a strike there higher up the face and a strike there lower in the face, and I'm trying to get the same sort of strike for each golf ball to give it a bit of fairness. Definitely sound more high pitched. Once a golf ball's in your bag, you won't really notice, or wow, you won't really notice once it's in your bag that it feels harder because you're not comparing it to anything. While I'm going from ball to ball, it's like, oh, that one's harder, that one's softer. Once you've chosen a golf ball, it just feels how it feels. Well, that's very impressive. 1 for luck on this one. I've got one of the PX dots left in that face. Yep, that's a fair strike. Ooh, that is a very nice number. Taylormade have done pretty good so far in the other ball test, in the TP5 and the TP5X. It's a continuation, but how does it separate compared to the other balls? Let's go Z Star XV. Now the XV did have, it was a 4-piece construction golf ball in 2023, but when they introduced the Z Star Diamond, they moved the XV to a 3-piece construction, so it made the separation between the Z Star and the Z Star XV a little bit closer because there was a third ball introduced to the lineup. So it does still have a different behavior to the Z Star. I'm pretty sure that's going to keep doing the same thing twice. Very nice. These things are getting chewed up though. Z Star done. Z Star XV. Let's go Pro V1X. Arguably the most popular one. Caught that a groove low, just on the lower side of the face, so that will give us a little bit more spin. Drop and stop and back. See if I can get one a touch higher up the face, so we get the same sorts of strikes. Drop and stop and back. Yeah, okay, nice. And I don't want to throw in any predictions yet, but this is the Chrome Tour X. I have hit that differently. I have hit that a little bit faster, a little bit of backspin. Okay, I would expect that to spin less, but it didn't. Right, let's get a relative shot in. That is a very good comparable strike to the others. Yeah, okay. And that's come back very nicely. Kind of came out of the shot a little bit. Oh, wow. Okay. Nice and spinny. Ooh. Let's have a look at what the differences are. So I'll just wheedle out a couple of the funny strikes, and that one and that one. Okay, so the first thing I want to have a look at is the peak heights. 92 feet Z Star XV, 86 feet TP5X, and the TP5 was lower than the others as well. 83 feet Pro V1X, ooh, okay. Although I do have a 93 and a 73 in there, so it split the difference at 83. It can still get up to the 93. That one went a bit slower, launched a bit lower. That might have been a bit lower on the face, but it's only changed it by 3 yards, fair. 93.90, much tighter with the PXG XTREME 92 average. Then we've got 91.90 on a 90 average on the Mizuno. 86.77 on the Chrome Tour X. And angle of descent, 53, 54, 55. So a little bit steeper on the PXG, a little bit shallower on the Chrome Tour X. And then 53, 54, 55, same pattern again, Pro V1X, TP5X, Z Star XV. So Z Star XV coming in that little bit steeper with the PXG. Let's select all 6 of them. Okay, so Z Star XV had more speed in it compared to the others. I might have just delivered that a little bit faster to get that speed. So that could be down to me, to be fair, but we're slowest in the Pro V1X on the Chrome Tour. I'd probably say that I struck them a little bit lower in the face, so I didn't quite get as much pop. Launch angles higher in the PXG and the Mizuno, and about level with the TP5X Pro V1X Chrome Tour X, and then just a little bit higher with that Z Star XV as well. Yardages, so I've just hit that a little bit faster in the Srixon, so that's not necessarily the golf ball's doing, but we're not far off the mark. We're just a little bit shorter than the Chrome Tour, and that could be because the spin rate is 12,500 on average, so 12,500 spin both times on there, averaging 10,800 Mizuno Pro. 11,000 PXG, so 200 revs in it up to from the Mizuno to the PXG, and then we go up again to 11,700 with the Pro V1X, so that is still very healthy. And then TP5X again in that same area as the Chrome Tour X, so it'll be interesting to see how they both compare in the irons and the driver in later videos. Z Star XV just hugging the top end of 11,000. They're all nice and healthy, but the lowest spin of the lot was the Mizuno golf ball. But it can get 11.5. It just also had 10.2. So all the golf balls there spinning quite a lot. Chrome Tour X and the TP5X very close to each other, which is quite impressive because I haven't dabbled that much with the TP5X and I've used the Chrome Tour X quite a lot. So it'll be interesting to see how these golf balls get on with the irons and the driver in terms of like ball speed and stuff, because you've got that 5-piece construction in the Taylormade golf balls that gives us a bit more interaction in the inner cores when we get a driver squeezing that golf ball. So we'll see how they blend up the bag. See you on the next video.